Hey YouTube, as you can tell I'm laying under my truck, which most likely means I'm working on a project, right? So the other day I pulled into BJ's, turned the radio off and it sounded a little funny. Went ahead and checked it out and it looked like, well, first the chatter was bad. I thought my turbo was shot and I was super sad, but I opened my hood and it sounded like the chatter was coming more from this area here. And on further investigation, I determined that my water pump pulley was slapping in and out and kind of hanging up. I looked it up and apparently it's not anything particular, or I should say unique to me. It happens with these. Luckily the part was relatively cheap. I think I picked it up for $60. But anyways, I'm gonna get working on this here. If you're not sure if it's your water pump that's making the chatter, another thing you can look at to determine if it's your pump that's bad is the belt and the pulley for the water pump itself. You can kind of tell, and I'll show you here in a second what I mean. You can tell like if the pulley's been going in and out because it's, you know, hogged that housing out, or the bearing's bad, it'll walk the belt off of it a little bit, and mine's actually walked off a tad. So I'll show you that here in a second, what I'm talking about. All right, so right here is the water pump pulley. You can see it there. This is where the belt normally rides. You can see this little oxidation here where the belt doesn't usually sit, then the clean part where the belt rides, and then more of an oxidized area where the belt doesn't normally sit. But as you can see, the belt has some wear, like a weird wear line on it from riding on a different spot of that pulley, and even a little off of the edge of it here. I don't know if you can see that well with the way the lighting is, but the belt right there is definitely hanging off the end of the pulley. So one way to really screw your life up is to not fix that and have it walk off the end and just completely annihilate your fan, your shroud. Sometimes that will send your fan into your radiator. It just creates a mess. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace it. Tag along. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead, this is your tensioner pulley here. You take a 1/2 inch drive socket, or in my case I used a breaker bar, and just release the tension on that by pulling down. And I'm gonna take the end of it here and maybe use like a ratchet strap or something to secure it to my frame to keep it down and out of the way. So in that way I don't have to pull the belt all the way off and then have to try to figure out the routing and everything. It'll just release the tension. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this, get that the rest of the way in there. Now it would be really awesome if I had like a stubby extension right here. I could definitely use one of those right now, but we'll make do with what we have. All right, so this is the contraption I rigged up here to keep the tension off my pulley. When you do it, just be careful, because if you don't have it at the right angle and whatnot, it can fly off there, and that definitely wouldn't feel good if it smacked you in the face or something. Mine's pretty solid. I wrenched on it a few times. Anyways, the tension's off my pulley, so now I want to show you this. All right, here's my water pump. Look at this. That's a lot of play in that sucker. I'm surprised that thing didn't come unglued. And I'm surprised that I cooled as well as I did 25 miles from the store when I noticed it chattering. And it probably was chattering before I even got there and I didn't realize it. So anyways, I'm gonna get going on this. All right, so it's a 10mm bolt that holds your water pump in. Well, two of them, one on top, one on bottom. They're at an angle. That top one is hard to it's hard to get at with a ratchet. Because of the pulley there for your fan clutch. So I ended up using a ratcheting box end wrench. You can just use a regular old-fashioned box or open end wrench. And then the bottom one, right there, if you can see it. Oh, it's blurry. Right there. That one I actually got on with a 10mm socket, and then just used a cheater bar to break it free. Yep, that's it. I'm gonna rip it out now. All right, so I got it out. Here's the new, here's the old. And as you can already see, this thing's pretty jacked up. There's a whole bunch of play in the pulley itself. So definitely cause issues. I'm gonna go ahead and get the new one installed. Before I do that though, you always want to make sure you install the gasket. One thing I forgot to mention, I can just show you here on this old one, is the vent. This vent here goes on the bottom side when you're putting it in. So the longer ear will be on the top side. There it is, all installed. Doing good. Built the pulley. And it's been running probably a good 10 minutes now. No leaks. Got the tap off to work the system. Once the thermostat opens,